Have you ever noticed how one small stumble can change everything? Picture this. You're walking through your own living room, the same path you've taken thousands of times, when suddenly your foot catches on nothing at all. In that split second, your heart races, your arms reach out desperately, and you realize just how fragile the ground beneath you has become. This moment of terror visits millions of us every single day, yet we rarely talk about it until it's too late. Every morning, millions of us wake up and face a silent enemy we rarely talk about. It's not a disease or a weakness. It's something far more insidious. It's the moment when your own home becomes a battlefield, when a loose rug transforms into a trap, when stepping off a simple curb feels like crossing a canyon. This isn't about getting old or losing strength. This is about losing the conversation between your mind and your body. The same conversation that once kept you safe without you ever thinking about it. Here's what nobody wants to admit. That fall you're terrified of isn't waiting for you in some distant future. For many of us, it's already knocked on our door. Maybe it was that stumble in the bathroom last month that you quickly forgot about. Maybe it was catching yourself on the kitchen counter when you didn't even realize you were falling. These aren't accidents. They're warnings from a body that's slowly forgetting how to protect itself. But here's the truth that changes everything. Most falls aren't inevitable. They're not punishment for aging, and they're not a sign that your independence is over. They're simply the result of small habits we've picked up along the way. Habits so subtle we don't even know we have them. The difference between someone who falls and someone who doesn't often comes down to 7 simple changes that can be learned right in your own living room. In the next few minutes, I'm going to share 7 simple changes to the way you walk that can transform your balance and give you back that steady, confident stride you thought was gone forever. These aren't complicated exercises or medical procedures. They're secrets hidden in plain sight, techniques that work right in your own home, starting today. Change 1. The power of conscious walking. You've been walking for decades, so why would you need to think about it now? Because somewhere along the way, fear crept in and changed everything. Fear made you cautious when you needed to be confident. Fear made you stiff when you needed to be fluid. Fear convinced you that looking down would keep you safe when it's actually putting you in danger. Every step you take is a conversation between your brain, your muscles, and your balance. When we were younger, this conversation happened automatically. But as the years pass, that conversation gets quieter, less clear, until one day we realize we're walking like strangers in our own bodies. The good news is that this conversation can be restored. It doesn't require expensive equipment or a gym membership. It doesn't even require leaving your house. What it requires is understanding that the way you walk today directly determines whether you'll walk confidently tomorrow. Small adjustments in how you move can rebuild the trust between your mind and your body. These aren't complicated techniques that take months to master. They're simple habits that start working the moment you try them. The question isn't whether you can learn to walk safely again. The question is whether you're ready to take back control of every step you take. Change 2. Your head holds the key. Right now, as you're watching this, notice where your eyes are looking. If you're like most people over 60, you've developed a habit that's slowly stealing your balance without you realizing it. You're looking down, not just when you walk, but almost constantly, as if the ground holds all the answers to staying safe. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Looking down is exactly what's putting you at risk. Your head isn't just where your thoughts live. It's the steering wheel for your entire body. When your head tilts forward and down, everything else follows. Your shoulders round, your back curves, and suddenly, your center of gravity shifts to a place where one small misstep can send you tumbling. You think you're being careful, but you're actually creating the very instability you're trying to avoid. Think about it this way. When you drive a car, do you stare at the hood or look down the road ahead? Your body works the same way. There's a simple rule that can transform your balance starting today. Look forward 80% of the time and save those quick downward glances for only 20%. Focus your gaze on a point about 10 to 15 feet ahead of you, not at your feet. This one change will straighten your spine, align your shoulders, and give you the steady, confident posture that makes falling almost impossible. Your head has been working against you. It's time to make it work for you. Change 3. Let your arms remember their job. Watch a child run across a playground, and you'll see something beautiful. Their arms swing freely, naturally, in perfect rhythm with their legs. Right leg forward, left arm forward. It's a dance that happens without thinking, a natural stabilizer that keeps them upright and confident. Now think about how you walk. Are your arms moving, or have they forgotten their most important job? Somewhere along the way, many of us stop letting our arms swing. Maybe it started with arthritis in the shoulders, making movement uncomfortable. Maybe it began with the habit of carrying a purse or holding onto railings. Or maybe it was fear itself that made us tighten up, thinking that keeping our arms still would somehow keep us safer. But rigid arms don't create safety. They create the very instability we're trying to avoid. Your arms are your body's natural shock absorbers, your built-in balance system. When they stop moving, your whole body has to work harder to stay upright. The solution is surprisingly simple. Let them swing. Keep your elbows loose. Let your arms move lightly and naturally with each step. Even if arthritis limits one arm, let the other do its job. You can practice this right where you are, marching gently in place next to your kitchen counter. Feel how your arms want to move in opposition to your legs. This is your body remembering what it was designed to do, and that memory can give you back the steady, confident walk you thought was gone forever. Change 4. Rediscover the art of the step. There's a beautiful choreography to every step you take, or at least there used to be. Heel touches down first. Your weight rolls smoothly through your foot, and finally you push off with your toes, propelling yourself forward with grace and efficiency. This is how your body was designed to move, how it moved for decades without you ever thinking about it. But somewhere along the way, that natural rhythm got lost. Now, if you're like many people our age, your steps have become different. Maybe you're placing your whole foot down at once, thinking it's safer. Maybe you've developed what doctors call the shuffle, dragging your feet along the ground as if they're too heavy to lift. You might even be walking on your toes, convinced that lighter steps will keep you from falling. But here's the hard truth. All of these habits are actually increasing your risk of tripping and falling. The shuffle that feels so safe is exactly what catches on carpet edges and door thresholds. The flat-footed step that seems stable is actually robbing you of your natural shock absorption. Your body knows how to walk safely, but it needs you to remember the pattern. Find a safe space in your home, maybe put a towel on the floor, and practice walking slowly and deliberately. Feel your heel touch first, then roll through your foot, then push off with your toes. Do it barefoot if you can, so you can really feel the motion. This isn't just an exercise. It's your body remembering its own wisdom, one step at a time. Change 5. The secret power of smaller steps. Everything in our culture tells us that bigger is better, that longer strides mean stronger legs and more confident walking. But when it comes to staying upright and safe, the opposite is true. Those long, reaching steps that you think make you look younger and stronger are actually the very thing that could send you sprawling to the ground when you least expect it. When you take long steps, you're constantly throwing your body weight forward, away from your center of balance. Your legs have to work harder, your knees take more stress, and most dangerously, you lose the ability to react quickly when something unexpected happens. That raised piece of sidewalk, that pet that darts in front of you, that patch of wet floor, they all become major hazards when you're stretched out in a long stride. But here's where the magic happens. When you shorten your steps just slightly, everything changes. Your weight stays centered over your feet. You can react faster to surprises. You can change direction more easily. Even if you use a cane or walker, smaller steps make everything flow more smoothly and safely. Try this simple test. Walk for 10 seconds and count your steps. Now, walk the same distance with shorter, quicker steps and count again. If the number went up, you're doing it right. More steps mean shorter strides, and shorter strides mean you're in control. It's not about walking slower, it's about walking smarter. Change 6. Your core is your foundation. Most people think balance comes from your legs and feet, but they're looking in the wrong place. The real secret to staying upright lies in your core, that cylinder of muscles around your abdomen, lower back, and hips. This is your body's foundation, the place where stability begins. And for many of us, it's been neglected for far too long. Years of sitting in chairs, bending over computers, and simply not moving the way we used to have weakened this vital center. When your core is weak, your whole body compensates. Your posture suffers, your back curves, and every step becomes a balancing act instead of a confident stride. But here's the inspiring part. Your core can be strengthened at any age, and it doesn't require a gym membership or complicated equipment. Meet Mary, an 82-year-old woman who was having frequent close calls with falling. She was convinced her legs were giving out on her, but when she learned to focus on her core, everything changed. Her simple routine was this. Standing next to a sturdy chair, she would lift one foot just a few centimeters off the ground and hold it for 5 seconds. Then switch sides. While brushing her teeth, she would gently engage her abdominal muscles, as if someone was about to tickle her. These tiny exercises, done consistently, gave her a sense of groundedness she hadn't felt in years. Within weeks, she was walking with confidence again, her posture straighter, her steps more secure. Your core is waiting to be rediscovered, and it's never too late to make it strong again. Change 7. Master the art of reading the ground. The most dangerous falls don't happen because of big, obvious obstacles. They happen because of the subtle things, the small changes that catch us off guard. That transition from carpet to hardwood, the way the light reflects off a freshly mopped floor, the barely visible step up to a doorway. These are the silent enemies that trip us up when we least expect it. As we age, our depth perception changes, and our reaction time slows down just enough to make these transitions treacherous. Our eyes take longer to adjust when moving from bright to dark spaces, or from indoor lighting to outdoor sunlight. Even something as simple as wearing bifocals can distort how we see the ground in front of us. But awareness is power, and there's a simple technique that can transform your safety. Alan, a 78-year-old man, nearly fell in his own kitchen after his wife had cleaned the floor. The familiar surface had become slippery, but his brain was expecting the usual texture. After that close call, he started doing something that seemed almost childish at first. He began naming surfaces as he walked. Carpet, he would say quietly to himself. Wood floor. Tile. Step up. This simple act of mental labeling prepared his body for each change, made him more aware, more ready to adapt. When you name what you're walking on, you're giving your brain a chance to prepare your muscles for what's coming next. It's such a small thing, but it can be the difference between a confident step and a dangerous fall. There's an invisible prison that many of us carry with us wherever we go. It's not made of bars or walls. It's made of fear, the fear of falling. This fear whispers to us constantly, telling us to be careful, to hold tight, to avoid taking risks. And while some caution is wise, too much fear actually creates the very thing we're trying to avoid. When fear takes over, our muscles tighten up. Our movements become stiff and unnatural. We stop trusting our bodies, and in response, our bodies stop working the way they should. Fear makes us look down constantly, grip railings until our knuckles turn white, and walk in ways that feel safe but are actually dangerous. It's a vicious cycle. Fear of falling makes us more likely to fall, which increases our fear, which makes us even more likely to fall. But here's the beautiful truth. Every single technique we've talked about today is designed to break this cycle. When you learn to hold your head high, swing your arms naturally, step with intention, and trust your core strength, something magical happens. The fear begins to fade, not because you're ignoring the risks, but because you're actively managing them. You start to remember what it feels like to move with confidence, to trust your body again. Each successful step builds on the last one, until walking becomes less about surviving and more about living. The fear doesn't have to win. Your confidence can be stronger. You now hold something precious, the knowledge that falling isn't inevitable, and more importantly, the practical tools to prevent it. These 7 techniques aren't just suggestions or theories. They're proven methods that have kept countless people our age safe, confident, and independent. But knowledge without action is just interesting information. The real power comes when you decide to make these habits your own. Starting today, you have a choice. You can continue walking the way you've been walking, hoping nothing bad happens. Or you can take control, one small habit at a time. Maybe you'll start by simply lifting your head and looking ahead instead of down. Maybe you'll practice that heel-to-toe pattern while you're waiting for your morning coffee to brew. Perhaps you'll try those small core strengthening exercises while you're watching your favorite television show. The beautiful thing about these techniques is that they work together. Each one makes the others easier and more effective. And the more you practice them, the more natural they become, until confident walking becomes as automatic as breathing. We want to hear from you. Which of these 7 techniques are you going to try first? Share it in the comments below, and let's build a community of people who refuse to let fear control their steps. Your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to take that first confident step toward a safer, more independent future. Walking has been with you your entire life. It carried you through childhood adventures, helped you chase your dreams, and brought you to every important moment you've ever experienced. Today, we've talked about something that might seem simple, but it's actually profound. How to keep that lifelong companion strong and steady for all the years ahead. These 7 habits we've shared aren't just techniques. They're your pathway back to confidence. When you lift your head and look forward, you're not just improving your posture. You're reclaiming your right to move through the world with dignity. When you let your arms swing naturally, you're not just helping your balance. You're letting your body remember its own wisdom. Each small step, each moment of core awareness, each time you name the surface beneath your feet, you're choosing independence over fear. The truth is, falling was never about getting older or becoming weaker. It was about losing touch with the incredible machine that is your body. But now you know the secret. That connection can be restored. Right in your own living room, without spending a single dollar, you can rebuild the trust between your mind and your muscles. You can walk with the same confidence you had decades ago, because that strength never really left you. It was just waiting for you to remember how to find it. Your body has carried you this far, and it's not done yet. Every step you take from now on can be a step toward greater stability, greater freedom, greater joy in simply moving through your day. The fear doesn't have to win. You have the tools now to make sure it doesn't. Which of these 7 habits spoke to you the most today? Was it the simple act of looking ahead instead of down? Maybe it was discovering that your arms have been trying to help you all along? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your insight might be exactly what someone else needs to take their first confident step. If this helped you see walking in a new way, please share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Together, we can help each other stay strong, stay moving, and stay independent. Until we meet again, remember, every step is a choice, and you have the power to make each one count.